Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 854. And in today's episode, we're kind of taking a bit of a reframe, a different look when it comes to people coming in and out of our life for a reason, a season, or maybe a lifetime. That is what today is going to be about. Now, I heard this quote, this actually comes from a poem I found out from one of my ex-girlfriends, and because she kind of reached out to me like a year or so ago and said it in a message, and I found it really intriguing. And then I thought, well, I haven't talked about this kind of subject, and when I kind of look into things, it kind of makes me think. So I wanted to kind of go into that topic to kind of figure out, what does it really mean? Because there's going to be people throughout our life who will come into our life, I should say, will stay, but they may have different meanings. And on the one level, we can think about it as learnings, teachings. Sometimes people are awakening or waking us up to make a change. So even to the point, those people who did bad things can still cause us to wake up to our potentiality. So let's kind of talk about the first one, a reason, where some people come into our life for a reason, and it's usually a shorter experience. It could be a simple passing, but it's a kind of a prompt. It kind of causes us to kind of, like I said, awaken to something. And I'm not going to judge whether it's someone good or bad in this case. Because like I said, sometimes people, have you ever had an experience where someone has come into your life and has made you wake up to not be like that? Or to not allow someone into your life like that? I think it happens more than once. So it doesn't have to be the good things. I would actually say we can expand this from people to life events. Some events are there for a reason if we pay attention to that reason. It's almost like I say, like, pay attention to the symptoms you feel, because they're there, they're signals, they're messages to be able to focus on the root cause of all your issues. That's what they're there for. So maybe people coming into our life for a reason, or at the very least, if we treat it that way, it can actually liberate us. Sometimes we think that person who comes into our life for a short period of time, it can be very negative or very depressing, whether it be a good person or someone who is done something bad because they have created an issue within us. But if you just kind of step outside of yourself and look at it more objectively, ask yourself, what reasons could that person have been in your life for? Even if it was very, very temporary, even if it was good, even if it was a negative situation. I always ask myself, what can I learn from this situation? That if I learn, will allow me to grow. And I think, although it can be a bit tricky with the negative people, I think we can have a form of gratitude. I don't necessarily mean for the bad person to have gratitude for them, but maybe gratitude that maybe it caused you to take a stand for yourself. Maybe it caused you to be able to wake up to something. Like, actually, this person is not serving me. Like, that contrasting experience can be very important as a life lesson. And if we take it that way, it means they're not going to control us anymore. That past event or that person is not going to no longer dictate the way that we feel. We can actually take that meta perspective and go, what can I learn from this experience? What is the reason that person came into my life? Whether it be like I said, a good person, or who like added to your life, or someone who restricted your life. It will allow you to gain that perspective and have more freedom of choice. I think that's so important. There's going to be many people in our life who we may have been holding on some grievances for a long time, like resentment, right? But it's very much like the analogy goes, like if you have a lot of anger and fear, or not necessarily fear, but like resentment for someone in your life or someone who was in your life, it's like having poison for them but drinking it yourself, because ultimately you're the one feeling that resentment, you're feeling that anger. And in order to process it, maybe we do need that greater perspective. What can I learn from this? Because the reason why I always say, what can I learn from this, that once learned from will allow me to be safer, it will cause me to have those learnings in the future. Those learnings will protect me. So be okay at times that that person answered a call, right? They added something to your life to a degree, and we don't have to always appreciate or like it, but at the very least, if we take that perspective, we can go, okay, they came for a reason. It caused me to wake up. It caused me to take a stand for myself. It caused me to unveil something. I did like a Instagram story the other day, and I might have even said it on one of the live streams, but I said events don't make you stronger, they reveal your strength. They reveal something greater within you, like that resiliency. I think I did say that on the, not last episode, but the previous one before that. And even if we can just take away that level of perspective, it will give you more peace. It will give you more learnings. It will give you more of a, I understand. Now, on the flip of this, maybe that you enter someone's life for that reason as well, because we don't really think about it like that. Maybe you've touched upon someone's life for that short period of time, but it meant so much to you. Have you ever had that kind of experience? Like for yourself, where someone randomly, weirdly, and wonderfully came into your life and they set you upon a journey. Well, maybe you've been that person for someone. Maybe you instigated, where it be something that you said to them. Maybe it was a kind gesture that you did, that you thought it was just kind, but to them, it made them totally see the world differently. So be curious about, maybe you're around people in your life on a daily basis who you'll never really get to know that well or for a long period of time. But ask yourself, what can I do to be a good reason for that person? What kind of things can I say or things I can do which will hopefully inspire them, no matter what it is, whether it be like a form of paying it forward in some way, doing something good for others without expectation of return. You never know, you could be the reason for someone to dramatically change their life in a way that you can't even imagine. Now, the other aspect is, so we got the reason and now we got the season. And to me, it's going to be for a longer period of time where it's less in and out. It's going to be where they give you greater lessons. They give you a deeper meaning. And this can be a tricky one because, as it says, it's for a season. And we know seasons come and go. But that length of time can cause us to have more reflection. And it can be a sad time at times because we've built this connection with them. It's not that passing in the night. It's not that that fleetering in and out of an experience of knowing someone, like just there for the reason. This is going to be longer, but it's going to be also more meaningful. And that's where we've got to have a level of peace. It is tricky and it's hard when people are in our life for a long time that then eventually go. And this could be loved ones who have even passed on. It could be people who, like school friends, who have been in your life for a long period of, or a long season, but then you just separate your ways. And I always try to go and be at peace with that. It is hard and it's tricky, but once again, when we look at the learnings here, I would kind of look into it. Like when I think of the people who have been in my life for a season, maybe two, who knows? What qualities do they bring out of you? What experiences did you share with that person? How did they add to the attributes of you? What did they bring out of you? A bit like the first one, like those bad events which don't make us stronger, but they unveil our strength. For what qualities did that person allow you to explore and have fun with? What is that experience? How would you summarize it? Because that means you're having a level of gratitude for that person and that experience. Even if it is a sad passing, we can look at the lessons that they gave us or the qualities that they brought out of us. And once again, think about that for you. Maybe you're here for a season with someone that you know, and to be at peace when it's their time to move on as well. You know, like when the student is ready, the student or the teacher appears, or sometimes that teacher will go as well and allow the student to move on their own journey. And that means you get many teachers along the way in your life. And once again, it is a level of trying to have a sense of peace, but this is part of the course. This is just like we know the seasons will change. We know that person will come in our life for a longer period of time, bring something out of us, and cause us to have a greater reflection, but to be at peace with it. It gives you more gratitude, I think. Like these first two, the reason and also the season, it kind of reminds me of the hero's journey, where the hero's journey is ultimately what all movies are about, all novels and things like that, where everything is going fine and then a problem happens. Maybe it's a reason to make a change, but along the way of awakening to the challenge, they will meet a teacher or teachers which will bring something out of them. They will answer the call. They will answer the call to be able to do something bigger than themselves. And that season aspect of a relationship or a friendship, and it could be even like, for example, a pet. It could be an ex. It could be a colleague. It could be a boss. It could even be, like, for example, to make it about me for a moment, you may just listen to this episode and move on. You may listen to my work for a year or two and move on. It is absolutely fine. It's part of the process. It is part of what can happen. You get to a place where you've got what you've needed from me to be able to go ahead and do that by listening to all the free work or the paid hypnosis sessions or whatever it is. It is part of the process. It is a season that can go in and out. And then the last one is the lifetime. This is where we really get the connection. This is where we build upon foundations. This could be anyone, once again. Absolutely anyone. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be absolutely, it could be a teacher still. It could be a friend. Like, if I think about my school friends, I'm still best friends with them. And I've known them ever since I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, and we still hang out. When I go back to England, we always hang out, and there's like a tight group of like 4, 5, 6 of us, and then another few other people as well. But I feel like they're there for the lifetime. For me personally, like, I don't know, hopefully I've got a lot of lifetime to happen and we build up those relationships even more. But no matter what, we have that energetic connection. We're there for each other. They listen, they lift us up. And we do the exact same thing. So I want you to think about maybe some of those people in your life right now who are here for the lifetime. And ask yourself, once again, what did they give you? What values did you get from that or are getting from that? But then also in turn, ask, what have you done for that person? And if maybe it hasn't always been equal, if it's that, you can actually kind of balance things out if you want. But remember, you are going to be there for someone's lifetime as well if you have that type of person in your life. So you want to thank them, but also understand about what you are giving that person. And by giving, I don't mean negative here. I just mean like this cooperative flow of energy, this blooming, this this growth that you share with another person or more than one person that's always going to be there. But also know that relationship can change. Like, you may be romantically involved with them and then realize you're actually best friends, but remain just best friends and move on, but still together. So the transitioning can be very weird and wonderful in an energetic way. But the reason behind this whole episode, which I pretty much said in the first one, the reason is to have that perspective, to have more peace. For there are going to be people come into your life for a reason, a wake-up call, whether it be good or bad in terms of how they got you to that wake-up call, to take responsibility or to do something. All of these things is about a matter of perspective. It's about considering the gifts that they gave you, the qualities they unleashed, the traits and attributes, the good times, the experiences, and we can cherish those in any one of those sections. We don't have to agree, like if it's that negative person who used or abused us or was a manipulator and narcissist, but if we grow from that, we can have a level of peace and gratitude for self that we were more than that and we wanted to grow because of it. It aids you in a way that allows you to be more resilient. It aids you in a way that allows you to go, everything within my life can be a learning experience if I choose. Like, there are going to be lessons, meanings, there's going to be these epiphanies throughout that experience of our lifetime. And since this is our lifetime, we may as well try to get as much gratitude as possible, even if it is for self, when it comes to the bad people, so to speak, that you are here, that this is a process, this is a journey, where we come into this world as that oneness, we go through all the contrasting experience, and then learning from those lessons allow us to integrate back into the wholeness, but with the lessons that you've acquired that make you even bigger and better than you were when you came into this world. That is the ideal. But then you can think of the analogy of, I'm trying to remember if it comes back to me who it is. It is, it'll come back to me. I'll put it in the show notes if I do remember. But it was the analogy of a tree or a plant. And sometimes people will represent those different elements of that plant. Some are like leaves. They will come and go. Some are like branches, which you'll sometimes have to trim back at times. Sometimes to be able to trim them, to let go of a person, and then to grow more connections. Like to allow someone else into your life, or to be able to have a clean connection with them, because we can keep evolving relationships. Sometimes we do go far apart, but sometimes we want to be able to rekindle that at times. But sometimes we want to let people go. So then you have the root, like the core of us, the core people in our life. They're the kind of people who's always going to be there, because they are the roots of your life. They're the stem of you. And be at peace with each one of those once again. Sometimes the leaves will just come and go. Sometimes you have to trim the branch a little bit to allow more growth to happen. Like if you know about gardening, I'm pretty sure that is what happens. You've got to cut a little bit away to allow something new to go there in its place. And remember, you have that core, but even more than that, maybe you have the nutritional soil, your environment that allows you to grow in that environment. And sometimes you got to replant yourself, and that's okay. Sometimes you will be the reason, sometimes you'll be in someone's life for a season, sometimes it will be a lifetime. But whatever it is all about a matter of perspective. And the more that you can learn and maybe take it less seriously, despite the pain, that we can grow because of this, it will serve you in that new perspective. Not taking it as personal at times, and actually as an empowering thing, that we get to have people in our life in different ways, for that reason, for that season, for a lifetime. And each and every one of them has a wonderful set of qualities that can actually instigate change or grow you in a most wonderful way. So I hope you enjoy that. If you've never heard of that before, the reason, season, lifetime, it's a part of a poem that I think you may kind of get something out of. I know when that person said that to me, it really made me reflect on my relationships and friendships over the course of my life, where it be teachers. Right? For another quick example, like there was someone, a mentor of mine, who was only in my life for a short period of time. Yet in that short period of time, they supported me. They believed in me. When I didn't believe that I was enough in terms of being an 18-year-old hypnotist, they said, look, you can do this. And that really meant a lot. And then I have someone like my father, who is an amazing friend, but an amazing mentor as well, who's there for the lifetime. There's always going to be different kinds of people, but have gratitude for them. Because when you do, you may recognize how far you've grown within yourself as well. So with that, I look forward to speaking to you in a future episode. Many thanks and goodbye.